Hey guys, it's Kristen with HK Wax Center. I'm going to talk to you about the best order to wax your clients. Now, before I jump in, if any of y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to comment down below, like, subscribe. I always love helping you guys and answering any questions you have, and I do keep up with them and read them. So don't hesitate to reach out. Also, if you are on Facebook and you like joining communities and groups, and you are either a licensed esthetician or cosmetologist or currently in SC or Cosmo school, feel free to join Wax Club. It is for professionals only, or obviously if you're in school, but it's a really great group of people who are super helpful and kind. It's a judgment-free zone. Everyone's really nice. So if you would like, feel free to check out Wax Club. Okay, let's jump in. So what is the best order to wax somebody? So maybe you have a client who's coming in for a full body wax, or even if just somebody who's coming in for doing multiple services at the same time. It can be really confusing, especially for a new waxer, to know what is the best order to wax that person in. You're going to get it quite often. A lot of people get multiple services, so it's definitely something that you want to be able to, on the spot, calculate which, how you should do it. That way you're not wasting time trying to figure out what's the most efficient way. That's actually not very efficient. So before I start, if y'all keep in mind, this is my opinion, this is what works for me. Everyone's different. I always recommend doing your own research as well, because everyone's technique is different. We do not all wax the same, but this has worked for me, so I at least wanted to share my own advice. First thing I will say is that you don't want to contaminate your client, potentially, like cross-contaminate. So I always like to start from the top bottom. Now, for example, say I have a client who comes in and she wants her eyebrows and her Brazilian waxed. Always, 100% of the time, do the eyebrows first. You definitely do not want to potentially contaminate anything from the Brazilian bacteria or whatever onto the face. Oh my gosh. You would also have to change your gloves, which is a big pain in the butt. One of the most annoying things to have to do in a service is change your gloves. And if you're a waxer, you understand what I'm talking about. Your hands sweat when waxing. So having to change out the glove, I cannot tell you how many times I have ripped the new glove because my hands were sweaty and I was trying to put it on and it just popped. It's also just wasteful. It is super wasteful to have to use multiple gloves in one service. I always try to stick to one glove or one pair of gloves a service. If you do have to change your gloves out, a little tip, a little like hack, is to take some powder, whether it's like baby powder or talc powder or cornstarch powder or whatever, and sprinkle a little bit of that on your hands after you take the first glove off, because that will help soak up any moisture in order, so it's easier to put on the second glove because it's not just like getting stuck on the sweat that's in your hands. So that definitely helps. But yeah, definitely try to avoid swapping out the gloves. I also want to minimize the amount of times that my client has to like flip over back and forth or move her body around, just for efficiency of everyone's time. So I'll do an example. Let's see, say I have a client who's coming in for arms, eyebrows, underarms, Brazilian, and full legs. Okay, so the order, and I'll explain why I'm choosing this too. So I always wax my clients while they're laying down on their back. So I would do a top to bottom, eyebrows first because they're laying down. Then for underarms, all they would have to do is pick their arms up, so they don't have to move anything else except for their arms, just picking them up. So I would do eyebrows, underarms next. Then I'd have them sit up on the table like I'm sitting right here. And then we would do the full arms. So I would do eyebrows, underarms, full arms. Then I would do full legs and Brazilian. However, for the full legs, I would actually have them lay on their stomach first. That way I can wax the backs of their legs and then have them turn over on their back, wax the front of their legs. Then they're already in that position to do Brazilian. So from there, they can get butterfly position for Brazilian and then do knees to chest for the butt strip in the back. If you were to do it where you did eyebrows, underarms, full arms, and then had them lay on their back and did the front of their legs first. Then they'd have to turn over on their stomach to do the backs, and then turn back over on their back to do the Brazilian, and then knees to chest, or however you do the butt strip. Everyone does it differently. I just prefer knees to chest myself. So you're adding in an extra flip, which doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but for one, it's just more annoying for the customer, for the client. And then it's just added time. Time is money. So if you experience that 3 times in a day, if you can take out one extra step, you might even be able to get an extra client in there. So I always keep in mind is contamination, not having to swap out gloves, and then minimizing body movements when waxing your client. So I hope this helps. Any questions, let me know, and thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.